it's the time for question and answer session or Dhamma discussion. If the questions are in English, I will try to deal with them in the English. If it is written in Sinhala, I will go there. There are a few questions today in English. I will start with them. During contemplation of feelings, how should one consider Niramisa feelings? Example, flashback due to the seeing and merits done in the front of the past Buddha, Pacceka Buddha, Arahant, Adi, A, Adukkama Sukha. This is the disparity, the difference between the Amisa Niramisa, materialistic pleasure and the immaterialistic kind of pleasure. Amisa, the word is used for the materialistic or corporeal. Usually it is very clear, the visual objects come and impinge to the eye, and the sounds come and avenuing to the ear, the smell with the nose, taste with the tongue, touch with the body are called amisa. That means Rupa Vedana Sanya, Rupa Saddha Gandha Rasa Pottabha, the visual object, sounds, smells, taste and the touch. Rest of them fairly Niramisa, that means unrelated with this kind of a materialistic thing. So this question is, does contemplation of the feeling, how should one consider Niramisa? As far as you are not engaged with visual sounds, visual objects or sounds or smell or taste or touch, that means Niramisa. Example, flashback to the seeing and merits done in the front of the past Buddha, Pacceka Buddha, Arahant, Ada, Adukkama Sukha. So these things are these are mental things, and here indicating the events, but how do you feel it? Do you feel happy, elated and contented? These things are called Niramisa feelings, and it is nothing to be contemplated. You just recognize it. These are Amisa and these are Niramisa, and Amisa feelings or Amisa Sukha is very expensive, and there is a limit, and beyond that it is always detrimental, and it is harmful to the society as well as to the environment. But therefore, whenever you are transgressing from that healthy and the comfort zone, going to the dangerous zone, no one knows that is this danger. That is the person who do not know the threshold, the comfort zone, and going beyond or transgressing it, overcoming, are called Putujana. Putujana generally do not know. They start with the comfort and the reasonable and justifiable way, and ultimately when the feelings become more and more thrilling and gratified, you easily, without knowing, you transgress, and then it becomes a problem to the others as well as for your health in the future and the environment. But the Niramisa do not have that kind of thing, but still there may be some kind of a mental attachment for this Niramisa Sukha, something like mentioned that merits done in the past. You may be elated and amused yourself, so that you may lose the present moment, you may lose the mindfulness or diligence. So they also have kind of a disadvantages or flaws, but it is not causing problem to the outsiders or to the environment, but to you are just missing the present moment. Second question is, what is Yoniso Manasikara? Please explain. Is to consider as a beginning or forerun of the sati or mindfulness. What is the practice for enabling more frequent Yoniso Manasikara? Yoniso Manasikara is recognized as wise reflection or in commentarial way it says Patha Manasikara and Upaya Manasikara. Patha Manasikara means you are coming back to the track. You come to know the ways and means to achieve your goal in the healthy manner. And Upaya Manasikara is a tactful way. And both being generally translated as wise reflection, but when we Katukunda Jnananda, Thero, he has translated it as a radical reflection. Our consideration is very, very, very conservative, very, very fallen into a track, a rut, and therefore we have kind of already prepared perceptions. Therefore, we are blindfolded with the blinkers. Those who are developing Yonisomanasikara they are opening the broad view. It is called broader view. For that you have to be very radical. Therefore that radical reflection is known as radical reflection. That is usually you don't find in Venerable Jnanamoni's translation or Bhikkhu Bodhi translation. Only in Venerable Jnanananda's translation you have. So therefore whenever you confronted with any kind of a problem, and if you are not giving any reaction, if you have a choiceless awareness, and that is the radical. Usually whenever something happens, you react according to your liking and disliking and according to your personality. But if you are developing the radical reaction, or Yonisomanasikara, you try not to apply your likings and disliking, not to apply your personality trait, you just try to see things as they are. So very radical, very rarely one can do it, because whenever you try to observe something choiceless manner, non-reactional way, there is no motivation comes. There is no urge to come. Therefore, you easily give up that. Whenever your personality boosted, ego boosted, that is the motivation you keep on going. So whenever you go for ego trip, always you are in Ayonisomanikara, that is unwise reflection, or radical, non-radical or rut. So that is very titillating. You feel very juicy, very sappy. But whenever the radical reflection happens, Yonisomanasikara happens, no motivation happens. So you don't feel like keep on going. You can do for a while and then again it drops off. So therefore, even if you are to sit and meditate on the primary object, boring, not happy, it is monotonous, because that, not the reflection, even just adverting of the mind to the neutral object itself is not well accepted, well taken. So therefore, Yonisomanasikara is something going against the grain. But as the question arises, it is not the beginning or forerunner for the sati or mindfulness, rather other way around. Mindfulness is the forerunner for the radical reflection to happen. So whenever you are defining the mindfulness, you can see the Westerners are going to give a lot of interpretation, something like this, as I mentioned, the choiceless awareness, or evenly suspended attention, or non-reaction, unassuming way, and see the beginning, the middle and the end. These are the kind of taints, kind of shades of meaning extracted from the Yonisomanasikara and attributed to the mindfulness. This kind of interpretation you find only in Vipassana way or insight way. Otherwise, usually mindfulness is recognized or defined as be aware in the present moment, be here and now. But whenever it comes to the choiceless awareness, whenever it comes to the non-reactional way of mindfulness, an unassuming way, without giving chances to the liking and disliking, and evenly suspended attention, these are the one given in a dramatic way for the Vipassana point of view, taken from the Yonisomanasikara. Therefore, such mindfulness is ever giving, keeping the door open for the Yonisomanasikara. But anyway, without your preparedness, without your theory knowledge, without your basic alignment, Yonisomanasikara never happened by itself. Yes?
Mindfulness leads to mindfulness.
Yeah. No, that is why I categorically mentioned. The question is asking, is it considered as the beginning or forerunner of sati or mindfulness? What is the practice of, is it considered as the beginning, sati or mindfulness? What is the practice for enabling more frequent yoniso manasikara? This phrase I am again and again reading, but I can't get the proper idea. Please explain, is it considered as the beginning, which in the bracket, or forerunner of sati or mindfulness? I read it as yoniso manasikara as a root cause or proximate cause for the mindfulness. With that idea only I told that is not the way, it is other way around. Mindfulness or sati is the forerunner to the yoniso manasikara. You can say sati, yoniso manasikara and upekka, they are in a series. Starting from mindfulness, and it is leading to the yoniso manasikara. Once the yoniso manasikara becomes again the ground, momentum, it is leading to upekka. So, in a sense, we can put in the gradual process. Bhante, please give summary of the last 2 nights sermon about Vedana. I understand the culprit. I just know one thing, when you said that Vedana is like sowing, and Sibbani. The Vedana, usually in the Sinhalese term, in the colloquial way or in the conventional way, we take it as the painful feelings. But technically, from the Dhamma point of view, Vedana means feelings, whether it's good or bad. So the Buddha, he mentioned one entity, one person. It is called Panchavokara Bhava, that those who are living in the, being in the 5 facets way, just like humans, one person means it is one person representing materiality, feeling, perception, mental formations and the consciousness. So first 2 days we dealt with the materiality. Today the question is about this feelings. So whenever someone is advancing from materiality to feeling, this is the way he or she coming from matter to non-matter, matter to rupa to nama. So therefore, whenever you step into the nama, you start with Vedana, and then Sanya, perception, and then Sankhara, mental formations, and the consciousness, going into the deep layers. So therefore, in the 4 foundation of mindfulness, start with the Kayanupassana, dwelling on the contemplation on the body, as body, and then going to the dwelling on the feeling, on feelings. So this is one of a very critical, very important improvement. That's why I just try to explain this like a girl attending to her age. That means then onwards she becomes sexually activated, chemical body starts and become a woman. Okay, preparing, be ready. Likewise, the meditation also, when you are changing from Kayanupassana to Vedananupassana, you are taking that kind of changeover. And it is basically from matter to immaterial part. And Vedana, the Buddha in this particular sutta is asking, what does it mean by feeling? He says, the Vedeti, experiencing, or get the touch of it, is the meaning of feeling. And what kind of touch? He says the feeling good or pleasant, feeling unpleasant, and feeling no pleasure, no pain kind of feeling. These are the 3. So whenever someone is recollecting the past, they recollect in terms of these feelings, past life or your past memories. And then whenever the learned or what do you call the disciple seeker, trainer, disciple, that means those who have gone beyond at least one Maggapala Jnana, Sotapanna or something like that, the Buddha gave a prescription for them to advance their practice on the subject of feeling as to now when I am sitting, even after you become Sotapanna, or whatever may be, you start to feel bodily feeling, irritating feeling, and you feel uncomfortable. It's a burdensome. And one has to say, even if I am to recollect the past, exactly the same burdensome, torturing and burning nature is the what I have to remember in terms of feeling. And if I am to project future, after doing good merits and all the kind of, if I am to reborn in the celestial abode or in the Brahma plane or in the kingly or princely kind of life, over there also exactly the same feelings, exactly the same burden, exactly the same torturing you are going to have. So knowing exactly the present day only you are extending as far as you are not learning and mastering the feeling by now itself. Asking future means asking trouble. Asking future means asking burden. And knowing that one must disenchant. One must get a distance from the existing feeling. That is what we are doing in sitting meditation and walking meditation. Whenever the feeling happens, we try to understand the beginning, the middle and the end. And there are also the method, the way you have to tackle in feeling. Whenever you feel a feeling, you have to understand it is already mature enough, and that is why you feel it. So, knowing that due to your ignorance, due to your negligence, feeling has to come to a gross level. Now it is, it irritate you, it hurt you, but it is not come up to that level due to a creator God or due to fictitious kind of reasons. It is not due to without any reason. It is coming with a due reason, due cause and effect relationship, and it is coming from unknown to known. Earlier it was in the it's a bearable position and insignificant level. Due to your ignorance, it is grown up to a level, it becomes unbearable, significant. So in the meditation you must try to observe the arising part of the feelings, arising part of the sensations. So whenever this is the meaning of Yoniso Manasikara. Answer to the early questions. Yoniso Manasikara is you try to see the arising part, the formation part, the beginning part. So you have to go prepared as and when the feeling happen, without reacting, without labeling, without getting attached, being it is a pleasurable, without getting worked up or hatred due to its unpleasant. You observe neutral feeling, with the neutral feeling, the arising part. So whenever that skill develops, you can understand feelings are ever in a gradual developing stages anytime. Whenever the mind is other directed, these feelings are coming up to a certain level and then it starts irritating you, hurting you. So whenever such a thing happens, you either develop, if it's a painful one, develop hatred. If it's a pleasurable one, you develop desire. If you are to protect yourself, prevent yourself not to have that kind of a desire for hatred, you have to see as and when it is arising. When that is happening, that is called see the beginning of the pain and the pain. And ultimately what you are going to get, you will be endowed with, you will be enriched with, you can see the cessation part also. If you try to see the beginning part, you will be given, will be blessed with to see the beginning. That is how the beginning, the middle and the end. But you have to start with the beginning. By meditation you try to see the beginning, and when the meditation mature enough, ultimately you will see the end also. And therefore whenever someone is skillful and tackle the pain itself, that is enough for someone to achieve a Maggapala Jnana. without worrying about the materiality. But throughout this meditation, the retreat as well as in the talks, I try to maintain the gradual process. First materiality, then feelings, then perception like. But if you are carefully studying in the theoretical point of view, if you are lucky, that means you have past merits. If you are directly tackling the Vedana itself, the feeling, and if you manage to see the arising part of the feeling without depending on the materiality of the Kayanupassana, theoretically possible. So therefore, present day in the meditation world, there are some teachers, they are specializing basically on the Vedananupassana. There are some teachers specialized on the Chittanupassana. And I have some acquaintance with the Jnanarama and Venerable Mahasisayado. Both of them says, better to start with Kayanupassana, and then Vedananupassana, and then Chittanupassana. That is the foolproof system. That is to not to give any lapse. So therefore Vedananupassana is, many understand, many try to see, it is advanced stage than Kayanupassana. With the development of momentum, with the Kayanupassana only one can go to Vedananupassana. And some people may bypass Kayanupassana and directly tackle Vedananupassana, and they may get some results. So therefore theoretically we can't object them, but on the basic grounds, standard way, it's recommended to go with Kayanupassana and the Vedananupassana. And as far as the sowing, how to pronounce? Sowing machine. And there are the very nice example it given that whenever the pleasurable feeling happen, automatically the underlying tendency of desire arises. Whenever the unpleasant feeling happen, and automatically the underlying the tendency, latent tendency of hatred arises. So if you know the beginning of the pleasurable feeling and the beginning of the painful feeling, you have a better chance to see how much you contribute with the in the underlying tendencies. So the latent tendencies, that is called anusaya. So when the pain comes, kind of a source happen for you to get a contact, and then if it is a pleasurable one, the pain happen, the object happen from the external, the tendencies is coming from internal, then only you label it as a painful or pleasurable. If you are not recognizing, or if you have no any perceptual contribution, they have no any sense about pain or pleasure. They come in the neutral way. You are the one color them as pain or pleasure. That is because your contribution. So therefore, if you guard yourself as to understand your contribution, you can easily tackle the pain itself. So that is like in the sewing machine. When the needle is going down, underneath there is a bobbin, which is also contributing another thread. When these both come, only the hook happen. If the bobbin is free of threads, whatever the sewing you are going to do won't give a good stitch. So therefore it says, the needle is the way the pain comes, the bobbin is the way the underlying tendency happens. You can't see by your up. Whenever that hook happens, it becomes a painful feeling or pleasurable feeling. So that is why basically for the pain and pleasure description, not the external cause, but your contribution is more responsible or totally responsible. So if you can make sure, if you can monitor them, if you can understand them, you developing kind of a mastery to see through the pain. That means you understand the pain itself has no label like pain, pleasure or painful. You are the one coloring it with your own underlying tendencies, and ultimately the ignorant people find fault with the external, but the real cause is, the Buddha says, it is internal. So that is why Yoniso Manasikara do marvels. But the thing is, at the beginning you have to understand the way the Buddha explained the formula, the instructions, and if you are working, ultimately you can see through any pain. And that is the way, one day you have to see through the death pain, or I don't know if there's a special name for that. When you are at the death end, and they are till that, no. So in the meditation session, you have to experience the pain in a very high levels, excruciating kind of pain, still maintain the integrity, the mindfulness and the yonisomansikara and the concentration. Then only you can understand whatever may be the life-threatening power of the pain, more than 50% your underlying tendencies are responsible. So if you guard them, you can understand, you can see them as if someone else. That is what we call the getting a distance from the pain, or see through the pain. That's all in the English, so I will go for the single.